What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Houston Rockets potentially signing Utah Jazz shooting guard Jordan Clarkson, as it was reported today or yesterday. Was reported by Jonathan Fagan, Houston Chronicle reporter for the Rockets, and it was reported he reported that the Rockets have interest in the following 13 players in free agency: James Harden, Fred VanVleet, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez. We already kind of knew about those guys, that the Rockets would have interest in them. Bruce Brown, Jordan Clarkson, who we're talking about in this video. That was a new name that we have not heard linked to the Rockets. Rui Hachimura, that's a new name that we haven't heard linked to the Rockets. Austin Reeves, Cam Johnson, Dante DiVincenzo, that's another new name we haven't heard. Dylan Brooks, Jakob Poeltl, another new name, and another new name after that is Dwight Powell. So those are the list of names that the Rockets are trying to bring into free agency. And also, Jonathan Fagan did say that the Rockets would like to sign 3 or 4 of these 13 players. So I think the Rockets would try to add in a guard, a forward, and a guard, a forward, and a big man out of like three of these 13 players possibly. So that is what the Rockets are trying to do. And Jordan Clarkson is one of those potential names that the Rockets are, are looking to bring in. And then, so Jonathan Fagan was the first guy to, say something. But then the Bleacher Report on The Athletic, it was reported that two guys, Jordan Clarkson and Rui Hachimura, are now on the Rockets' radar. So there's been 2 different things linking Jordan Clarkson to the Houston Rockets recently, and I'll be honest, I would love Jordan Clarkson on the Houston Rockets. I mean, it's gonna cost a little bit, because you're gonna have to pay him some money, because he is right now he's a $14.2 million player option. He can opt into that player option, stay with the Jazz, or he can opt out and sign somewhere else or re-sign with the Jazz, try to get a bigger contract. So he's gonna want more than 14 a year, and I think that's well deserving. He averaged 21 points per game and 5 assists per game last season. I think it's very deserving. He had a great year. He had multiple 40-point performances. I think Jordan Clarkson is definitely worth, definitely worth 15, if not more. But you give him a 4-year, $60 million deal to come to the Rockets. He'll be that 6-man type player. You pair him for off the bench, and you put him with a guy like KPJ off the bench. Amen Thompson stays as the starter in this scenario. And I mean, I like bringing in Jordan Clarkson. He provides scoring. He provides 3-point shooting. He provides solid defense. He provides good passing. I just really like the whole addition for Jordan Clarkson. Not only that, him and Jalen Green are, they're not like really close, but they have some connections. They're both from the Filipinos, and then not only that, but in Jalen Green's rookie season, and against the Jazz. Well, against the Jazz, when we play the Jazz, they always do a Filipino night against the Jazz, because I actually remember that. I remember I went to the Jazz. It's like literally they do it every. I don't know about every year, but they've done it the last 2 years for sure that I know of. Because I remember the 21-22 season, we played the Jazz, and when we played the Jazz in 21-22, it wasn't our first home game of the season, but it was the first time we played the Jazz. It was at home. It was a Filipino night. It was one of Jalen Green's, first. It was like I think it was his 3rd game at Toyota Center, and both Jalen and Jordan Clarkson were from the Filipinos, so they did like a Filipino night. If you see in the background of this picture, you can see Jalen Green's jerseys being given away on every chair at the game. There was Jalen Green jerseys. Or not like an actual jersey, like a T-shirt with Jalen Green, a T-shirt jersey of Jalen Green on every chair. I remember on TV there was they did something with Jordan Clarkson and Jalen Green. Jordan Clarkson and Jalen Green were talking together. They basically like an interview, talking, or whatever. And then this year, I remember this year I went to I went to the Rockets. Was that our first? I can't remember. I think, was that our first home game of the season? Maybe it was this year. I know it was our first win of the season, but I can't remember. It might have been our first home game of the season. We started off the season against the Hawks. And then, no, it wasn't, because we played our first home game was against the Grizzlies this season. But I went to this game. It was against the Jazz this year, 22-23 season. And it was basically another Filipino night. So it's been a recurring thing against the Jazz where they do Filipino night. Both Jordan Clarkson and Jalen Green are from the Filipinos. And it's enough for talking about both Jalen Green and Jordan Clarkson, talking about them being from the Filipinos. But I just think they'd work really well on the court together. Their games are very similar as well. They play, kind of alike of each. I honestly think their games are very similar. I think Jordan Clarkson would provide some spark off the bench, some good scoring. I think he'd work well with KPJ off the bench. It's that guard tandem off the bench. And I think Jordan Clarkson, if you pay him a 4-year, $60 million deal, would be a great fit for the Rockets. If he opts out of his player option, the Rockets are going to be one of the most teams that are going to be interested in Jordan Clarkson. I would love the Rockets to add him in. I think it would be a great fit for Houston. You guys have your thoughts on the potential signing for the Rockets. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Rockets.